me go. Hey. Hey, y'all. This is Renee. It's Friday. And I want to give a shout out to my cousins before I get on the addiction part. My auntie that was in Mississippi that I enjoy seeing, she moved to Atlanta a couple years ago. And she was killed no later than 4 hours ago in a car accident. Can you please keep my family in prayer? Because this hit home here. We just had a good time. But anyway, I must go on, continue to do what I need to do. And right now we're going to open up with the God of my understanding, giving him his praise and his crops for introducing us to Narcotics Anonymous program. Most gracious Heavenly Father, God, who I choose to call you God, I thank you for opening doors that were closed on us. I thank you for allowing us to find ourselves in the midst of an addiction. And I thank you also for the recovery houses, inpatient, outpatient, the men's recoveries, the women's recovery, to the therapists, to the doctors, through the counselors. Thank you so much. And thank you for letting us have a will to want to do right. I thank you for the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous. I give it a big shout out today because it have opened doors for many, many people and put us on the right track. I thank you for NA, CA, and AA, all through the 12-step program. My God, my God. Hey, y'all. Listen. Recovery, addiction is made for us to find a new way to recover. You know, I wanted to talk about something I thought about all day. And that was finding a way to make it right when it comes to dealing with an addiction. We have to, hey Blanche, we have to find a way to make it right when dealing with addiction. And even in our clean time, for the ones that's clean, shout out to the ones that's celebrating clean time. Shout out to the ones that's working a program and you discovered that you have a new way to live and that this disease you won't allow to take you out. I thank God for that. Also, while I'm in the thanking business, thank God for all the recovering addicts that's still doing things together and still keeping it going and helping another individual. But I also want to say to the ones, I had about 4 people that went out last week, between last week and this week. I'm going to continue to pray for y'all until you get it right. You know, till they get it right. Because going back is not the answer. It's only going to complicate more problems. You know, hey Latrice, hey Blanche. But I wanted to say to you all that finding a way to make it right when it comes to dealing with addiction, we must do that. We must open the doors to find out why we continue to do the things that we do. Why do we continue to hold resentments like because see, all these things play a part in our using. It plays a part, especially when you're holding on to something for years and you can't let it go. You know, and you get high and you drink behind it. You know, the disease of an addiction, it does what it's supposed to do. It detour our lives, separate families, break up husbands and wives, you know. And in recovery, we find ourselves, even me being clean. Even with me being clean, I have my days that I'm struggling. Struggling through loss, struggling through not understanding why people do the things they do, understanding that, you know, I'm going to have days when I wake up and it wasn't as bright as yesterday, but I'm still alive. Addiction is real. I don't know why, and for the life of me, I guess I do know why. I do know that the disease of an addiction, and that's what it is. It's a disease of an addiction that keeps us going, keep us wanting to run to the drug, or, you know. But I want to talk about a whole lot of different other things. You know, I did have a guy to call me, and I do believe in anonymity. And I hadn't heard from him in a long time, and he was bothered. He was bothered. He was bothered by somebody using that he was close to. But see, the disease of an addiction tell us that it's just what it is. You know, people say, well, I don't know why he went back. I don't know why he stayed out there and come back. Hey, the disease of an addiction. That's why people drink. That's why people use drugs. That's why people pop pills. That's why people use fentanyl, crack cocaine, you know, cough syrup. Because the disease of an addiction, while we in the disease of an addiction, we don't try to find a way. All we do is use. That's what we do. We get up, we use. That's what I did. I used. I held on to things that kept me using. I didn't want to forgive people that hurt me. I didn't want to let go of things that I could not change. I didn't want to be accountable for my own actions. I wanted to stay on that pity pop and blame everybody else for my addiction. I wanted to not give up something to gain much. I was stuck. And when you stuck in the disease of an addiction, you won't go nowhere. You're going to be still doing the same thing, making the same excuse, not trying to find a way to make it right when it comes to drugs and alcohol. I hit my bottom. And a lot of you talking to y'all done hit y'all bottoms too. And through the grace of God, as the God that I understand, that is loving and kind, that wants us to find a way to get it right dealing with this addiction. You can keep holding and manifesting and lying and thinking that you don't have a problem, but that problem that you thinking gonna create other problems. So I had to get a solution. I had to find some kind of way. I had to find a way to deal with my addiction and find a way how to work a program that would benefit me to keep me clean. Hey, Auntie Wanda. Hey, Auntie Evelyn. I had to find a way. You know, but today was one of them days, you know, one day you can be good and all of a sudden you get a phone call like I told you about my cousin. I'm so glad I got a chance to see her, laugh with her. I took a picture. I took pictures with all of them. And to hear that, it threw me. It just, I found myself just riding around the corners and sitting at the light because it threw me off. You know, but I was thanking God in the same sense to, boy, I got a chance to hear her laugh. I got a chance to talk to her. I got a chance to take some pictures. You know, I got her to let her tell me how I better be at their next family reunions. You know, I've been knowing Nancy all as a little kid, you know, and it threw me off. So some things when we still dealing with the disease of an addiction, you know, I'm not active using. I'll never go back on no circumstance. But you can be clean and still get throwed off. You can get thrown off by people. You can get thrown off by things. You can get thrown off by places. So in my addiction, I had to find and keep searching and keep trying to find a way to deal with this addiction. You know, in this addiction, I helped on to a lot of pain. You know, as y'all stroll and leave comments, as you stroll and send emails, you know, we gonna have to get it or we gonna lose it. We're gonna have to understand that addiction is real, and if people don't work on a program, how do they expect to get better? How do you expect to get better if you're not working a program and you're not going to meetings and you're not doing what they ask you to do, is tell on the disease of an addiction? What's keeping us bound? What kept me bound? So much kept me bound. Hurt, pain, rejection, detachment, a whole bunch of other things with that mess kept me to use it. I look forward to waking up, you know, getting high. I look forward to that. I look forward to not accomplishing nothing within that whole day because I choose to get high and sitting in my mess and wobble in it when the pain was steady getting greater. You know, the pain gets, you know, and because we get clean, I'm talking about the ones that's really working a program, that's really doing what you need to do, trouble will rise. You know, shedding tears will come. Some of the joy will leave. But it's up to us to bounce back. Because I had to keep bouncing. I have to keep bouncing. I need to always learn how to bounce back. Because staying stuck and being stuck, what kept me using. Addiction. Sometimes we have to make our own self feel good because Satan working on us as God keeping us. God is keeping us, but Satan's still working on us. That disease of an addiction is terrible. It haunts us. You know, it bothers you. It bothers us when we ain't even thinking about using drugs. But we have a chemical dependency of a disease called drugs. It's a disease. And the only cure, the only thing that it'll help me, the only thing that it will help you is don't use, don't pick up, finding a way to make it through when even the inner person inside of you is telling you, go on and use. You know, I talked to the guy and this guy had a problem because, you meet somebody and you don't know nothing about them. And I'm talking about me. You meet somebody, you don't know nothing about them, and then you got your shield up. My shield is always up. It ain't that I can't. It ain't that I don't want. It's just my shield is up now. Because I have to protect my surroundings and who I'm dealing with. And sometimes people can throw us off, and next thing you know, you find yourself back using again. And that was some of the cause. You know, people was doing good, staying clean. 6 months, I saw a young lady on here that she had just relapsed, and I had to just talk to her and tell her that's a part of our recovery. Some people don't get it the first time. Some people don't get it the second time. Some people don't been going back and forth for years. You know, but when you do get it, you'll know you got it because you're going to keep it. And that's the difference. You know you're going to keep what you've been working on. And that's why I tell you people, you can't let up on this disease of an addiction. This disease will work your body anyway, your mind any way that it can. When it says that, where's my steps? When it says that we admit and that we was an addict. And we had to let go of some things. You know, we were powerless. You know, my life had become unmanageable. Your life became unmanageable too. Y'all probably, like my auntie and them on here, see, they don't do that. My auntie, she don't do that. You know, she don't do the drinking. Back in the days, they did the drinking. They did. I don't know about smoking no weed. I know my mama smoked some one time, and they said she acted so funny and so crazy. But look, old people's been where we at. And now we getting old. And our kids is where we at. Our children's is where we were. I'd put it that way. You know, we can pray on them. That's the best tools I got. Because I prayed my way through this addiction. I prayed my way. I constantly prayed as I used. You know, people say you're a dumb ball. You can call me everything that you want to call me in the book. But that is what I was. But I had enough sense to pray to somebody that I know that's been keeping me all that time. From the unseen things as well as the seen things that I could see. They keep me from using, or kept me using. So, you know, once I got introduced to the 12 Steps of Narcotics Anonymous, I got nervous. And some of y'all tells me when you email me, I'm scared. Because I'm equipped to always messing up. Well, that's a part of keep trying. That's a part to keep trying. And maybe that last try will be the time that you get it. But if you keep playing with it, you know, it's going to take you out. It's going to get you out of here. You know, I got some days, and yesterday was one of them days. Yesterday, I have to always deal with Renee. Whatever my thoughts, if I'm missing my son, I miss my mama, you know, I get in these crying spells. So recovery has taught me to deal with the feelings. It's okay for me to feel. It's okay for me to ask questions. It's okay for me to find a way to deal with this, the disease that still lingers. And long as I don't use, I find a way out to deal with it. To deal with the recovery, to deal with my addiction. But now I want to talk about the people that's in an addiction. The people that's still using, the people still denying that they got a problem. The people that still stealing, still doing the things that got you to this point. You're going to have to learn how to take accountability, to work a program, to get you a sponsor, you know, go to your meetings, you know, find somebody that you can talk to, you know, that you got to watch them. I always tell people, watch your sponsor, because everybody ain't truly ready to sponsorship. You know, so that's why it took me a year to find my sponsor. I didn't say nothing. You know, when I first got to the meeting, I didn't want to mess up nothing, so I sat there for a long time and didn't say nothing. And people were saying, you ain't going to talk. Well, you know, when I get ready to talk, I'm going to talk. Right now, I'm trying to invest all the things that I'm hearing and put it, you know, put the cotton in my mouth, and I need to listen. Because I don't want to keep bouncing back and forth like I did all 30-something years, using back and forth, going back and forth. I didn't want to do that. When I made it up and turned and made that U-turn and told God, if you help me help myself get clean, I would never use again. And I still say that today. I ain't using on no circumstances. Because using ain't going to do nothing but create my loss of years that I have gained. It's going to tear me up, so I'm going to stay out there longer. It's going to put me in a situation where I don't give a dog if I pay rent, pay car gas. You know, see, that addiction will take everything. It'll take your mind, then it'll work on your spiritual part, and then it'll take your accountability of being responsible. It don't want to see you make it. It's trying to kill you. So I had to find my way to make it right when it came to addiction. Because I couldn't stop. At least I thought. Because I didn't have no new. If you don't have the tools to use, if you can't go to your steps and you know about steps. I didn't know about nothing. All I knew about is the God of my understanding. That's what I knew about. And I know that I have been praying to this man and talking to this man even in the midst of me getting high. Even in the midst of me drinking. Even in the midst of me popping pills. Even in the midst. I knew I had a problem. Can't nobody tell me an addict don't know they got a problem. You definitely got a problem if you ain't got no tissue paper in your bathroom. You definitely got a problem. Well, you got to scrunch up pennies because you done messed up your check and you ain't got no tissue paper. You know, you ain't got no milk, or you ain't got the things that you used to have. Then, but when you ain't got a roll of tissue paper, you know you got a problem. I knew when I couldn't find no tissue paper and I had to use tear a bag and use it, I knew that I was insane and I needed to get some help, because anytime you can't get a thing of tissue paper because you done blowed up all your money and you can't pay your light bills and your light is cut off, or you can't take accountability of keeping gas in your car, why do we make the same stupid decision? Because of the disease of an addiction. People say, I don't get it. Why that girl can't get it? Why that guy can't get it? Well, everybody can't get it at the same time. It's different times for different people. I couldn't get it for over 30 years. Why? Because I didn't want it bad enough. Anything that made me feel good and to take away all the stuff I was dealing with and bottling it down and putting it down there and adding more stuff on top of it because I didn't want to deal with it. So if I don't want to deal with something, we as addicts, we are people that's impulsive, that loves to feel good, to take away the pain, and I was that person. And I had to keep trying to find a way, keep on praying and keep on talking to the God of my understanding, because I knew I was going to die. If I didn't stop using, I knew I was going to die. And see, what I learned about being recovery, the same problems, only problem that's different is that you ain't using. But the same thing that happened when you was using, people's hurting our feelings, people's, making us feel bad, people's talking about us, people don't like that because of, people think they can, keep me running like I was running when I was using. So the same problem's gonna come up. Only problem you ain't gonna have when you clean is you walking down the alley to get one more, or you taking your paycheck and instead of making the dope man rich, instead of paying his bills and you not paying your bills, then you learn not to do that no more. But when people's hurt our feelings or people's do things that we know that ain't right, I suck it up. I had to tell one of my daughters today, your mouth, sometimes people's mouth get themselves in trouble. Sometimes we have to just be quiet and see how can we deal with that situation. I found myself being clean, shutting my mouth up, dealing with a lot of stuff that I know ain't right. But I know the old me can surface up at any given time, so I have to learn how to be quiet and think about what I'm gonna say before I say it. Because when you recover, you already feel like that. Because you got friends, everybody ain't your friend. I can tell you that right now. That's why I only hang with God and myself. I got 3 friends. Truly my friends. And I don't hang with a lot of people. I'm not saying they ain't good enough. I'm not saying they ain't cool. It's just that, I had a trust issue all my life. And I'm okay to tell y'all that. The drugs and alcohol, me dealing with the drugs and alcohol, this disease of an addiction, how it manifests and come up in you. Like one day you want to stay clean and that's the day you use. I was tired of dealing with the demon. I was tired of going through my feelings, and I didn't have nothing to use. See, When you in recovery, you can't pick up. You can't every time somebody hurts you or your loved ones say something or they do you wrong or people do you wrong or a certain thing don't turn out like you planned or your plans didn't work out the way you wanted them to. That's life on life terms. But see, I can't use about it no more when I used to use about it every time. So I know my life has changed because I can't use about nothing no more. I couldn't use the death of my mother. I couldn't use the death of my boyfriend. I couldn't use the death of my son. I couldn't use for the death of my godfather. I could not use. Did I think about it? I would be lying to you to tell you that thought didn't come in because the chemical dependency, even though you've been clean all them years, can still manifest in your thought at any given time of the day. Especially when they know that you're going through something. Especially when you heard it through a relationship or your husband or you break up your girlfriend, and then we known as addict to dwell on the self-pityness. We know how to do that. Because I stayed on the pity pot. So how did I make a way to find a way that I could stop using? For one, I gave up my will. When I surrendered, I had to surrender. Do y'all know what surrender means? Surrender means you let it go. You give it up. You don't pick it back up. You really let go and tell God of your understanding to come into your life. Remove this drug. Tell me what to do. I'll do it. Show me what to do. I'll go there. I'll do it. But I can't do it on my own. I knew I couldn't do it on my own. I tried so many times. I tried. I tried. I promise you, I tried. Some days I go 3 or 4 days and seemed like when I went back to getting high, it was worse. It was double. I had made up for the 4 or 5 days that I didn't use. So I tried. But because I was in so much pain, because I was holding on to so many things that I couldn't change, or I didn't have an answer to give myself of why you did me like this, or why you do this to me, and then what part did I play? My self-centeredness, making stupid mistakes, stealing and lying. Not just that. I made a lot of stupid mistakes. Sometimes just getting up in the morning and getting high. That was a big mistake of mine. So I had to learn a lot of stuff about me. I had to learn that my selfishness can come into my play at any given time. I had to learn that my impulsiveness, or the way I think and the way I hold things and the way I process things, was totally different than the way that I work on it now. When we getting high, that's all we think about in the moment, at this place, right now. That was me. I ain't just talking about you, I'm talking about me. That's how I live. I live to use and use to live. I didn't care about the consequences. I didn't care about me hurting other family members. I didn't care about destroying my life. I didn't care about my health going down the line. I didn't care about my mental capacity was leaving me. I didn't care about that. All I cared about the disease of an addiction. And we consume that. We consume that. But then I consumed a lot of other things. Like I learned how to hate when I should have been learning how to love. I learned how to get you back for you hurting me when I should have let go and let God. I learned how to accept the things that I cannot change and give me the courage to change the things that I can. I had to eat them words. I had to learn that. I had to learn it's okay to be by myself. Because see, the way I used to do myself, I wouldn't have never let nobody else do me the way I did myself. So when recovery comes into your life and you still dealing with that addiction and you still thinking you going to mess up. Even when I was using, I always thought, oh, I'll never get clean. You know, I'll stay like this. I'm sneaking and using. I'm lying. I'm creating more problems on top of problems because the disease of an addiction is in me. And I didn't have no tools to work the disease of an addiction. So I learned. I prayed. I learned. And I prayed. I didn't want to die in the world of an addiction. I had to give up. I no longer have control. I no longer want control unless the control is right. I had to tell God, God, come into my heart, come into my life, change me, Lord. Only person, God, that only person that can do that. You heard all my prayers when I was using. I would get up in the morning, use all day, all night, and go to sleep for a few hours and back at it again. That is no way to live. And a lot of times when I get on Facebook and I scroll through there, get on Facebook and I scroll through it, and I see how mothers had to bury their daughters, or they saying goodbye to that baby in the hospital due to drugs or due to alcohol. You know, I cry a lot, and that's good for me because I didn't used to cry at all. So now I know my feelings is real. You know, because I cry at the little bittiest thing because I've been there in that pain. You know, every Facebook story, everything that come up about addiction, there go me, there go I, that was me, there go I. I always have to center myself, that's who I was, but that's not who I'm at today. And to see the mothers and the daughters bury their mothers and the mothers bury their daughters and fathers due to an addiction is very painful, and it reminds us that recovery is real. You know, people think it's so, you know, it ain't real. You know, it ain't came in my house. It ain't bothered me. Okay, yeah, it's been bothering you for a long time, but we as people, we get in denial that this person even got a problem. And if you think online, if you think it would never happen to you in your house, in your home, or in the presence of you, you're wrong. Because one of your kids, or one of your cousins, or one of your mothers, and one of your fathers, one of your nieces, and one of your sons and daughters will become addictive. Because we're in that world now. I was in the world back then, but now it's a whole different world now. It's a whole different world, still painful, it's still out to get you, it's still coming to grab you. So it's still, we in that world. We in that world. And like I tell people, you know, when I come on here for me too. You know, I come on me too. You know, people say, well, you should go on more and more and more. No, I don't. That ain't what God told me to do. That ain't what he woke me up and told me to do. I'm going to be obedient and do what I need to do. You know, I ain't trying to reach the whole world. I'm trying to reach the one that's got a problem. I'm trying to reach the ones that want to understand about the disease of an addiction. I ain't trying to win brownie points. I ain't trying to do that. That ain't me. I didn't want to do this. I did it before and I left it, and then God had to whoop me and tell me, no, you being disobedient. I gave you the tools to use, Renee. Help somebody use the tools. Show them how to go. Show them the way. Give them some numbers. Do something. I don't need to get on here no more than I am. Because I'm on here for a purpose. I'm on here just for one purpose. The disease of an addiction is real. And we have to find a way. Mother can't save you. Your daddy, your son, your daughter, your cousin, can't nobody save you. You have to work these steps yourself. You have to get honest with yourself. You have to take accountability for your action. You have to deal with all the addictions that you picked up, not just the drugs and the alcohol, but you got a whole lot of more addictions that you ain't never dealt with. And people think, well, I just deal with the drug and the alcohol. No, no, no. Because now we got to go through step 1 all the way to step 12. And in them steps, it asks us, why were we foolish? Why did we keep doing? Why was the self-centeredness coming out and making us do things that we know that wasn't right? Why would our actions be to where, like I told you, I did a lot of stupid stuff. Everything I love, I love to see, where my money goes. Whether it's my jewelry and my home, my car, I don't want it to be, because see, when I was on drugs, I didn't see nothing. Everything that I had, I lost. I lost my thought, my mind, my soul, my accountability, my ability to want to function right, my ability to want to think. I lost it all. And now when I tell people, it ain't so much about material things, but it is when you're giving it away just to hurt yourself. I'll never go back to that life, ever. I've been through the worst pain. I done lost loved ones. I done lost some stuff now. I done lost some stuff. But it ain't enough for me to lose all my sobriety or my clean time. Because me losing that gonna take me much more to gain it back. So I have to deal with life on life terms. Who said that I have to deal with it, but you can't? If you want to keep running out there and you telling me that you trying and you trying ain't good enough. Dealing with addiction, you get some action. You got to put in some footwork. You got to put in some footwork. This disease of an addiction, they know the game. It know how to play you. It know how to make you think something is and is not. So I had to learn to find a way to make it right for all the wrongs I had done. And I did some wrongs. I hurt people. People's hurt me. I took a lot of stuff. But you know what I learned out about recovery? Recovery teaches us about the strength that we didn't know that we had. People say, what you talking about, Renee? We was at a meeting, I said, recovery teaches us that all the low self-esteem that we dealt with, and we took all that in, and we sucked on it, and we started hating people, we started holding resentments, we started talking about people, we started hurting ourselves along with our loved ones. But one thing I learned about recovery gonna show you just how strong you are and have always been. It's just we made some bad decisions. We could not stop using. I love being clean. That's the greatest gift. To me, that's a gift. To tell me that I know that I can't use no more on no circumstances. Renee, I don't care who hurt me. I don't care if the marriage didn't work. I don't care if you took from me. I don't care if you betrayed me. I never use again. Now what I had to learn is how to deal with me being clean and dealing with all the hurt that still comes up on us. Because we get clean don't mean that we exempt from pain, hurt. No, it don't mean that. Our own family members can use us. People say, oh, I got family. My family truly love me. But some families don't know what love is. Some families only know what taking is. Some families only know what hurt is. Some families only know long as you doing for them. I'm talking about a real family member. That when you was going through, they helped you. Or when you needed help while you was in treatment, they helped you. We talking about, I ain't talking about the ones who talked about you or the stuff you did because you was high. I'm talking about the family members that really got genuine love for you. Because they family members don't mean that we got the blood down the line, but that it don't mean that they truly love you like you love them. I had to learn that too. I had to learn that. And some things, some of my character's defects, you know, people say, well, when I come into recovery, I want to learn about my personality, my character defects, my defects of character. I want to learn about my behavior. I want to learn about my impulsiveness. I want to learn about my self-centeredness. I want to learn about my gratitude. I want to learn about my ability to keep hurting myself. I need to learn that. I need to address that. I need to learn everything that I need to learn about me. When I came into recovery, I didn't just deal with the drugs and alcohol. I had to deal with my behaviors, my attitude, my self-centeredness, my compulsiveness, my lying, you know, my things that made me do the things that I do. I had to learn how to deal with my urges. I had to learn how to deal with not letting go. I had to learn how to do how I want to keep some things but let go of some things. Hold on to this thing. I had to learn all that. And the best person you can fool is yourself if you don't learn about yourself. So I didn't come into the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous to play. I've been playing all my life. Russian roulette with my life. I didn't come in there to do nothing. I ain't nowhere in the world I'm going to stay clean and I'm going to go to program and I'm going to help another individual stay clean and I'm going to take them to a meeting and I'm going to drop them off at a meeting or I'm going to be part of the meeting with them and then I'll turn around and I'm still lying. I'm still stealing. I'm still got that compulsion of keeping up mess. I'm still going from one to the other, taking a bone and carrying a bone. You know, see, them behaviors you should have worked on. Because this disease of an addiction come with a lot of behaviors. Because we learned these behaviors because it got us to keep getting high. So you have to learn about you in order to deal with you. You can't go in there and say, oh, yeah, I want to stay clean, you know, and you know, I ain't never told a lie. I ain't never stole nothing. I ain't never took nothing. I ain't never wanted what that person wanted. I ain't never hated nobody. You know, I ain't never slept with this person. I ain't never been with that person. And then you find yourself, until you be honest and butt naked truthful with yourself and on your disease, that's the roundabout U-turns you're going to be turning. Instead of making a good U-turn, you're going to be turning around in a circle over and over and over again until you be honest with yourself. Why do we accept the way they look at us? Why? Well, I had to learn that about me. Why was it important for me to make sure that everybody liked me? Because I didn't like myself. My low self-esteem was messed up to the ground. You know, all the hurt. You know, you can look at me smiling, I can smile at you, but in the side I was deep crying. I was in a dark place and nobody could see it. Nobody can see it. Nobody can see the hurt. Nobody can see the pain. Nobody can see the emptiness. Nobody can see the painfulness that you're going through. Nobody saw the light in you, but they still didn't notice. Nobody saw that light shine on you like they said it shined on me when I came into recovery and found a new way to live. And the God of my understanding started nurturing me and helping me and holding me and guiding me and sending me to the right places and letting me learn about the disease of an addiction. As long as I don't pick up, I ain't got to worry about picking up. As long as I don't pick up, I ain't got to worry about starting to lie again and start to steal again and started to live to use and use to live. As long as I don't pick up. See, that's the miracle. That is the miracle in this disease. As long as you don't pick up, as long as you don't drink. See, and people can pull you in because, you know, I learned that It's still my fault. Because if you know you fighting with something and you know you can't have that, then why do you go around the people that's doing that? Why do you put yourself in the atmosphere that you know you can't use, but you want to go to your cousin's house and so they can see how sharp you is, and you got a little jewelry and things is working for you, and all of a sudden, do you think them people's care? Do you think they like it because you got it and that you clean? Do you think they'll tell you that? But then in the midst of you going there, you find yourself, now you back to drinking and using drugs. Look, when I got clean, I didn't care who seen me. Only person that I wanted to see me was the peoples in Narcotics Anonymous program. Them was the only peoples. Because I had been hurt so bad to where some of the stuff I'll take to the grave. It's certain things that I made a lot of mistakes. I did a lot of things. But can't nobody hold me on that. Because if you show me one perfect person on this world, then I'll tell you you're a lie. The God of my understanding, He know when He created us, we wasn't going to be perfect. He know we was going to make some, hey, my daughter's on you, hey, Felicia. He know we was going to make some mistakes. He knew we was going to hurt people. He knew we was going to be hurt. He knew that we was going to find ourselves trying to find our way through life. Because due to drugs and the alcohol, due to all. And once I learned that I'm important, that don't mean you can keep walking over me. It don't mean because I ain't doing no drugs and no alcohol, I still. It means is that I had to work my way through to find the answers that I needed for me. I couldn't work nobody else's program. I was so stuck on my stupid process of how I was doing things to cope. I always needed something to cope. And that ain't the way to live, because that's an addiction. Mental illness set in. I started thinking crazy, kept going to the hospital, kept doing this, kept doing that. You know, that ain't what life. God don't want you to live like that. That's something that Satan loves for you to do. I ain't got no room for that man. That man have hurt me worse than any man in the world. Is that demon, that spirit, that evil demon spirit. And I don't let him in. When I see some argument finna get started, or I see something that didn't go my way, I have to immediately stop. Because see, my impulsiveness can always find a way to keep going. Keep itching it. Keep wanting to have some reason why to go off, or have a reason why to cuss you out, or have a reason why to leave you alone. So I had to learn all these character defects about Renee. Renee was a messed up, dressed up lie. And today, if you don't see the light in me, there's something you still in the darkness. Because ain't nothing that I do to hurt nobody. Everything I really done when I was using drugs was to me. Except for the lies I stole and the men I slept with. And then, I ain't trying to go back. When that 9th step and that 8th step came in, some people I can't go back and tell that you didn't know nothing about that's something I had did. Because that might cause you bodily harm. I wasn't doing that one. So I had to suck it up and then find another way how to deal with 8th and 9th step. Like we on this 9th step for Sunday. But you know what I'm going to tell you? The greatest gift is finding a new you. That's the greatest gift. And some people are coming to recovery, but they still ain't found the new them. They still ain't found the new them. Because sometimes people come in for the wrong reasons. They come in to save their wife, or to save their husband, or to get a better establishment with their kid or son. But them all the wrong reason to come in. You got to come in because you want to do something different. You want to change the way you live. You want to change the way you think. You want to change the way you act to things. You want to change. Because see, it was no certain way I acted. I acted a fool. I acted any way I wanted to. Because I was up under the influence of drugs or some pills. Or just my attitude and my character defect alone. So now I have to be easy with me. I have to be honest with me. if I see something to stir up, if I see something coming or something done piss me off, I got to immediately shut down. Renee. And you know what I love about the spiritual part? Is that a lot of times I be so hurt. I be so hurt how people do you. I be so hurt how people lie to you. I be so hurt how people can come in and still be clean. Say they work in a program, but you still be lying after lie after lie. I see something wrong with that, but then that's not my process. What I supposed to see in that is for me. It's not for nobody else. You know, and God always showed me a person. He always showed me what's going on. And so sometimes I go into my me room. And that's the room that I talk to God in. You know, that's the room that I go in there and I need to mellow out. I need to spend some time with me. So I can address the things that's concerning me about me. Why did I think that way? Why am I going to bed holding this resentment? What if I don't wake up in the morning? What if I don't wake up in the morning? So I had to work on me. And I'm still in the working process because some new things can always come up. Just because you're getting older don't mean it stop you from learning. It don't mean you will have new vibes, new love, new action, new atmosphere. It don't mean that stop. It don't mean none of that. It just means that the disease of an addiction is still one hit away. And I have to always tell myself, Renee, you know you can't drink, you can't get high, you can't do nothing. Only person I can get high with is the man upstairs. And he going to take me to places that I want to go. He ain't going to take me to some places that I don't want to go. He going to take me to some places that I need to go and want to go and keep going. That's the man I love. Because everybody ain't got your best interest. And I had to learn that by being broken. I had to learn that about people's hurt people. And I was one of them people in my addiction that was hurt and hurting other people. I had to find a new way. Finding a new way to make things right when it came to that addiction. And that addiction can be alcohol, it can be pills, it can be sex, it can be overeating, it can be lying, it can be prostitution, it can be compulsiveness, it can be self-centeredness, it can be a defect of your character. All of my addictions that we learn to pick up in our act of using. It's a gift. And when I say this, I say this with all sincerity. It's a gift to find out the things that I found out about me because I nurture me. That's a gift. Because some people's come into recovery and they still miss the gift. The gift is learning all about the person that hurt themselves. I'm still learning. I walk into a place, I light up, I smile, I speak, you know. I'm okay. It used to be okay where I used to didn't be okay because I needed somebody always around me. My friends, all. It ain't like that now. I come in, go in my room, put my gospel music on, I read, I lay in there, I'm okay. You know, that's the gift. To be comfortable with me. Because that's something that we didn't learn how to do in our addiction. We learned how to get high with people because we got high. We learned how to let people come in because we wanted something from that person in order for us to get high. You know, that premeditated thinking, you know, helped us get our drug of choice. And so now I got to deal with just me. Without the drug, without the drinking, without the pills, without the compulsiveness, without the behavior of getting one more. That's a gift. And I'm so grateful for that gift because I worked hard for that gift. I worked hard to find out why did I allow people to do me the way that they did. Why? I lost me in the progress. I lost a lot of me. And that's how we let people get in, corrupt our lives, take us for granted, use us, because we got something in common with them. We get high and we drink. But once you don't get high, and once you don't drink, and once you ain't popping them pills, and you working on self, and you getting clean, you ain't gonna want all that around you no more. I don't want it. I don't want it no more. I'm not accepting it. You know, I'm okay with being by myself. Do you know how long it takes some of us to learn how to be complete and okay with being by ourselves? Sure, anybody would want somebody to be with, you know, want somebody to love, you know, but if I never find another love, he gave me all the love I needed. I tell people, if he never do anything else for me, he gave me enough. He gave me the 12-step program to learn everything it is about me. I didn't have to go to no doctor to get it. I didn't have to go to no friend to get it. I had to go to a book. I had to go to a meeting. I had to go to my sponsor. You know, so when I tell you it's a gift, you don't know it's a gift yet until you learn everything it is to learn about you and your disease and your character and your self-centeredness and your compulsiveness. You don't learn nothing until you deal with all that. And that's why people, when they come in, they lose themselves. Because they shut down on something that they should have been still working on, or they never addressed. They never addressed it. Sometimes people go back because they get in love and that person is on drug and things ain't going, and then they pull them in and now y'all both on the race. See, the person that come into my life, he got to be like me. I can't deal with a person drinking no more. I can't deal with that because I know the drinking going to be a problem sooner or later. I know the drugs going to be a problem sooner or later. So I said, God, if you never do nothing else, you done did enough. You done grant me years that I thought I'd never see. You done put good people in my life that I thought I could never have again. You let me gain the trust in you to help me trust in somebody else. Yeah, I've learned about me. In the process, it wasn't just about me leaving the drugs alone. It wasn't just about leaving the alcohol and all that alone. It was about me. The destructive, hurtful person I had became. And I was dangerous. Mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So I had to find a way to make things right. When it came to the addiction. And now that I have it, I never lose it. I'm always keep it. Because of this addiction, I've kept myself safe. I kept myself grounded. I met better people that know how to love people now because they learn how to love themselves. I learned how to deal with humility. I learned how to deal with compulsiveness. I learned how to deal with letting go. I learned how not to let you take all of me and I get nothing from me. I learned that very well. I learned how to be left alone and I'm okay with being me. I don't have to pick up a drug because I'm lonely. I don't have to go get a man because I'm lonely and hurt. I've learned about my behaviors, my character defects, and my defects of character, what made me do the things that I do. I was looking for love in the wrong places because I felt no only person that I can truly say that gave me truly love before I had kids was my mother. That was the one that I chose. God of my understanding is first and my mother was second. My mother, too, she loved me even because of the faults, even because of the compulsiveness, even because of the love, even because of the evilness I had. I was hurt. And when hurt people is hurt, they don't know how to deal with hurt. So they take drugs and they keep using, they keep drinking, they keep making mistakes over and over again. They keep finding themselves in jail. They keep finding themselves in the hospital. They keep finding themselves in the street, chasing one more because they won't let themselves learn about the disease of an addiction. So I'm okay. I'm okay. I thank y'all so very much. I thank y'all for letting me come in. I thank you for letting me share. I thank you for help healing me. I hope I can help somebody else through this site. And I need to learn how to continue to give y'all the best. I don't lie. I don't sugarcoat about nothing. I keep it real. I ain't trying to make myself look at it like I ain't never been ugly. I ain't never been nasty. I ain't never went through pure mess. I did it all. So everything is out there. There ain't no secrets. I tell on my disease because my disease had manifested me to keep using every day, every day, every day. So now I just tell on my disease, whatever I'm thinking, if I want to share it with y'all, if it's funny, if it's sad, if I cry. I've been on here plenty times and cried some tears because guess what? The tears are what set me free. To have the freedom to cry and let the tears fall and know why they falling. And while they falling, I know that man up there is catching them and telling me it's going to be okay. Long as I don't use, you finding a way to keep on making a way so I don't ever use again. I ain't never using again. Satan thought he had me. He taught me what not to do. It's a gift because I'm learning about me. I open some doors to let things come in so I can share some lights on the things that's been holding me bound. I've been a bound situation for 30 years. You got to go get the kids. So I've learned. I'm happy with me. I'm okay with me. I manifest in me. Because I was a messed up, dressed up liar who lived to use and used to live and lie every day. And every day I used somebody, I hurt somebody. And you know what? And now I don't do that. I ain't trying to hurt nobody. But people still hurt me. Because I got clean. They don't care. Because I'm working a program. They don't care. Because I got years behind my belt. They don't care. So I had to learn how to take all that I don't care outside of me and put it in me. Yes, I do care. I do care how I treat people. I do care what I say to people. That's why I shut up a lot. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know that part of Renee. I don't know that part about y'all. There's a lot of stuff I don't know about y'all. See, we people as addicts, we can hide and pretend and act like everything is okay when we know everything ain't okay. I'll tell a person in a minute. I went to go pick my kids and they was like, Mom, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I just had to tell them, I said, something just threw me. My cousin was alive 3 weeks ago. We was having a good time. And somebody took her life. She got daughters, she got kids, she got a husband. I was all over the place. And so I had to tell the kids, I just chill. Can y'all kind of be quiet for me for a minute? I'm having a conversation with a man that y'all don't see, but I know he there and he listening. I said, God, you got to help me with this. Now I need to see the miracles in what I seen 3-4 weeks ago. That was her laughter. That was her talking to me. That's what me sitting down. That was the pictures I took with her. We never know what day we going to leave here. So if you're going to keep being the same you, how you going to make it to another place that you want to go when you ain't changed nothing? And if you ain't changed something within yourself and you keep being the same person, then what have you worked on? I worked on a lot. I worked on a lot. Self-esteem. I worked on my overeating addiction. I worked on letting go of people that I cannot change. I had to let go of the way I think. I had to let go of letting people get in to hurt me. You know, letting people take everything, an ounce of everything in me. And I gave me nothing. I gave it to everybody else. So everybody else got the nurturing that they wanted from me. But I didn't receive the nurturing that I needed for myself until I gave it to myself. I gave it to myself. I won't settle for less. If this is the way I'm going to die by myself, then I'm okay with that too. I done been married. I done been in relationship. I done been in love. Some people's never had a chance to be in love. I done been in love several times. Now, which way love? Some loves is different and some love is different. And, you know, it's all different types of love. But I've truly been in love twice. And that was the gift to know how to love, even if I didn't receive it back. Or even if that person did love me, but then had cruel intentions to, I'm okay with all that. Because they didn't break me. They didn't keep me. They didn't keep me at that standstill of being at the bottom. So I thank y'all. I thank y'all so very much. Keep our family in prayer. And for the ones that's on here that lost some loved ones, I had a couple of friends who lost a cousin. I had a couple of friends that lost a brother, a couple of friends that lost a mother. You know, keep people's in prayer. Prayer changes things. And it make you think, you know, be good and kind to somebody. Even when we going through the worst days, you still have to be mindful to be kind to some people. I had to grow to get there. And there, I had that much respect for me now. I ain't got to always be right. I can shut up and be wrong if you say I'm wrong. If that makes you feel good, then I'll be like that too. It took me a long time to get to that point. But thank y'all so very much for being a part of my process. You know, for the ones that still dealing with the addiction, it's hope. You got to find somebody. You got to get in the books. You got to, you know, call the phone line. You got to call the hospital. And they'll tell you where to go. You know, but you can't expect for somebody to do your footwork. You have to do your own footwork to gain your own gains. You know, and I thank God for that. May you stay safe. We on step 9 for Sunday. And we're on step 9 for Sunday, and I will deal with that on Sunday. May the God of my understanding will keep you. May He bless you, keep you safe. Y'all go through the weekend being safe. And if ain't nobody never told you that they love you, I'm telling you now, Renee Williams love you. Each and every one of you, Blanche Williams, Latrice, my Auntie Evelyn, my Auntie Wanda, and anybody else named that I can't call or haven't seen. But anyway, thank y'all for listening to me for this hour and 10 minutes. I went over a little bit. Okay, talk to y'all Sunday. See you later. Good topic. Good topic. I say it every time. Good topic.